Hey, good morning. Really excited. Today we get to go over to the shop and put together a prototype of this drawer system. Parnell and I have been going back and forth all week with the design, and we think we're finally at the stage where we can mock up and put together the main box. And what that's going to allow us to do is take final measurements in the back of the Land Cruiser with the drawers actually in there to do the final design, and then we'll get to fabrication. So we're at a super exciting step for me, and we're gonna go over and do that right now. So let's go and visit our good friend, Parnell.
Okay, what are we working on?
Now, I know you couldn't do anything. I spent hours on this.
Hey, it's functional, that's all that's really important. And now, is that the exterior or interior dimensions of the fridge?
It is exactly the exterior dimensions, plus or minus about 1.5 inches.
Yeah, about an inch actually.
What are we going to do today?
Okay, so we were originally going to make this mock-up out of cardboard, but seeing you and your wife with all the testing back and forth with these little fridges, I thought, you know, I've got some scraps of plywood. Why don't we just simply cut up some scraps of plywood? It's just a square box. We'll staple it together, and then we can pin it in the back of the truck. It'll act as a measuring template, so we can really get a detailed measurement of the edge, so we can make the piece that eventually sits on top of the platform perfect. And it'll let you take it home and really eyeball it to make sure that the height is right and you're not making something that you don't want.
Hey, I don't want to make everything seem like really easy. There's been a lot of iteration that we haven't shown. In fact, we have we've gone back and forth quite a bit where you drew up things, you'd send it to me via email.
Yeah, it's a whole part of collaboration.
You know, we'd go back and forth. I'd be like, yeah, how about a little bit of that? So there's been a lot of design stuff that's gone to get to this point.
Yeah.
Did you draw that? What is it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All it's an Autodesk program. On the I just use my Surface Pro for it. It works great.
Awesome.
You can I have a grid that I overlay, and then you can overlay photos or whatever you want. So if you like the tires I just drew, but to get the back of this envelope, I just took a picture of an FJ, and traced it, and then scaled that picture to my grid. So all this is exactly to scale. Based on an FJ. It's a great little program.
That's cool.
It's called Sketch, I believe, by Autodesk.
Right on. All right, what's next?
Okay, so what's next is let's just make a final measurement of the truck to make sure that the dimensions we have here are correct and are going to fit.
Cool.
And then we'll cut up a couple of sheets of 1/4 inch plywood and cut up a couple of sheets of 3/4 inch plywood and staple it together and slap it in the truck and start the measurements. Okay, we look actually reasonably well centered in there already. Okay, so I'm going to pull it back even a little bit more. Just there's no reason to try to gain 1/8 of an inch and then get great pinch points and everything else.
Yep.
Okay, that looks pretty good.
Looks good here.
Okay, so let's fold those seats down. We're going to tape the floor.
Okay.
Now we'll get that ruler on there, and we'll be able to get it squared up in the truck. So when I go from here, I'm 26 and 11. And I'm 26 and 12. So I only have to come over 1/16 of an inch to get myself square.
If that was out of center by 1/16 of an inch, Corey would be able to tell.
Same thing, 30 and a quarter. I mean, we're within a very small dimension away from where it should be.
Oh, you're gonna find the skeletons in my closet.
Lord have mercy.
You're gonna find the skeletons.
They've been found. That's the end of your sleeping platform. So that fold down piece would be 20 inches. So if that piece just hinged from here, it would be that tall.
Copy. Yep.
And if that was just a hinge that slipped down, that's how tall it would be. So there's two options I was kind of pondering. One, leave a space underneath this thing that this sleeping platform slides underneath. Doesn't take up any room, only adds 3/4 of an inch height to this thing, which is basically what we have right here.
And then so when it slides out...
Oh no, it slides, you pull it out the back. So we could have the drawer just is 3/4 of an inch shyer and it slips underneath the drawer.
I like that a lot. The reason being, it retains, like if we are using the middle row seat, and it is in grocery getter mode, let's call it.
Yeah, you're not trying to put something over there.
You're not trying to get past it.
That's the deal. The drawer is 3/4 of an inch thinner, and that thing rides in the slot in the drawer. Still fits in the drawer, no problem.
Great.
That's a great idea.
Great, let's do it that way.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, look at that. Now that's a sleeping platform.
75 inches.
Hey, that's great.
And now these things nest right behind the seat, and they'll attach with rare earth magnets. That gives luxurious amount of room to close those seats. Can you push them so they're against the body of the...
I'm doing something really important. This we're going to solve for somehow, because Corey has the arthritis.
Just need a little ladder to lock onto here. Just use that as kind of your balance point.
That'd be so, like seriously, that would be awesome.
That sleeping platform's cool. That would work great. And much
That's gonna be cool.
Hanging off for sure.
We've come around to a very good solution. It's like the best of both worlds, which is really what we're going for. What did we learn?
Well, we learned it. You know, design is an iterative process. You cannot think you've got it nailed until you've really seen every detail and every aspect of it. Because just the sleeping platform whole thing, had we not put this box in the car, we really wouldn't have come up with the right solution. So I think the model is critical to doing something like this. And I think we came up with a pretty elegant solution for the sleeping, for the feet hanging this far off of the end of the drawer.
Right, we hadn't really discussed that, but you know, if unless we're all closed up, there needs to be a little bit more space, and that solution with the panels up here is going to be really, really slick.
Yep.
Cool. What do we do? What do we do next? What's the next step?
So next step is you take this home.
Okay.
And you change all our designs because you want to do something else. That's probably the next step.
Time for stage 3. 1, 2, 3.
Stage 3. I would assume this is a 6-stage project.
Okay.
So this was stage 2. Stage 3 is our next very quick little just acid test, making sure we've thought of everything. Stage 4 is integrating all the things that we haven't thought about into this design that we've got pretty well done. And then stage 5 is fabrication, and stage 6 is installation.
Got it.
So we should be good.
Cool.
The more I look at it, I can't see using 80/20. It would all be hidden. You're not ever going to see any of it. You're not ever going to change the configuration of it. This is what it is.
Right.
And the tubing will just be radically cheaper. And by the time you take into consideration all the drilling you have to do in the 80/20, all the tapping you have to do in the 80/20, all the little aluminum brackets we would have to get to bolt it to the floor, we can TIG weld up all the tubing in the same amount of time, and you end up with a rigid product that you don't ever have to think about. So
great.
I think welding it out of steel tubing makes more sense.
And there's a cost benefit as well.
So
now we're talking not only cost but efficiency.
Yeah. 80/20 makes sense if you don't have the welding table and you don't have the welder and you don't have the saw to cut the tubing really easily, totally makes sense. If you have all those tools and you're building something that you want to be rigid and you're never going to adjust, building it out of steel is a better solution. And I think all in all, by the time there are no clamping fasteners, there are no angle brackets, it'll be probably 5% heavier, 10% heavier at max. But we'll do the actually calc on that to see what the weight is, but I don't think I'll have a weight problem.
Right on. Step 1, find a friend with a really cool shop. All right.
Oh my gosh, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're doing this.
Check it out.
Okay, here we go.
There it is. So that is the prototype.
Oh my gosh, it's happening.
It is happening. So check it out.
Okay.
I made this refrigerator. I took the dimensions from the website. Look how close that ended up being. Pretty cool.
This is a big step.
Yeah.
We've never done anything like this to this truck.
So this is just temporary, right?
Okay.
We'll be fabricating everything out of probably a bamboo top and steel structure.
Bamboo top?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. And so this is for measurement purposes to make sure everything fits perfectly and it's where we want it. So you and I are now going to have, a discussion about what we want to include in great detail, which we probably won't bore you guys with, but we need to figure out exactly what we want in terms of storage.
This platform extends out.
Yes.
And then what's going on back there?
Okay, so you can see that if this is our sleeping platform, I'm a bit over 6 feet, and so my feet are going to be out to here. So what are we going to do about that? That's the question. So let me show you that, all right?
Okay.
It's cool.
Okay.
It's cool.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to like it.
You've solved.
Do you want to see it?
Well, yeah.
Do you know people ask why my wedding ring is gray? So it's because these are made of silicone. And Corey and I both wear, except when she's around the house, we both wear these silicone wedding rings because they break before your finger. Yes. So if you're outdoors or you're working on a rig or you're on the trail, I highly recommend.
If you're working on electric.
Or electricity, I highly recommend wearing a silicone.
Shout out to the guy. Ring. Shout out to the guy who said that when Michael was wearing his wedding ring proper and working on electric. And we were like, yeah.
That's really smart.
Yes.
And the reason I switched so quickly is because my brother used to work on loaders and stuff with, we had a family logging company, and he actually blew his ring off because it arced.
I've never heard this story.
Ask Todd.
I will.
No, boom!
The more you know.
The more you know. A little safety tip. Okay, let me show you what we're gonna do.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost ready.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
Ta-da!
Okay.
So these will have very powerful magnets, and they will go clip, clip, and they'll just stay there. They're completely invisible. When these seats are back and we're in grocery getter mode, these just hide right there.
Okay. Oh, you know what this does though too is now, okay. So I think what's going to happen, and I'm just using kitchen here because again, kitchen is our setup pain point, or the biggest one, I should say. So this turns to water.
Water, stove.
Water. Oh, stove. Tell me about stove.
So stove probably goes here and folds down. So it's actually right about here.
Okay, wait. Okay, tell me. This is new.
Imagine this jerry can
Yes.
is a stove that's upright.
Okay.
And it folds down and it sits right here, and there's a burner and a burner.
And so this means we're doing an entirely new thing here.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna get rid of the gas.
Okay.
This is gonna be a water tank.
Yes.
And then this is gonna be a stove that flops down and is a burner.
Parnell, thank you for keeping our built, not bought budget down to a minimum, because it didn't require my husband going to buy a table saw.
I tried.
Let's keep on thinking about this, because I feel like if the water stove happens here, we haven't talked about up top. We've been fortunate enough to maybe use this 3 times in 8 years. I don't know, that's a different conversation. Okay, so we've rethought this, which I love. And then, you know, because Dan Rich has that like water pumpy thing that's really fancy. We'll talk to him about that. And he did it himself and it was fairly cheap. So stove, water, shelf surfaces for things.
Yep.
Okay, so again, this is kind of a big deal for us. Well, for me, because this is the first major thing we have done to the inside, let alone the exterior, since like 2011, since you put that roof rack on, really. It's also a commitment.
So now what we can do is we can look at this. Now that we've got the basic drawer shape in here, we can look at it and decide how we want to configure stuff.
These drawings we're going to put out there.
Oh yeah, once we're done with everything, the drawings will be free.
Okay.
You know, yeah. Parnell's not doing it for any reason other than to pay it forward and be a nice guy. He's just super awesome. Goes up front in front of this, and then we'll have the entire space as a sleeping platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
On this episode of This Old Land Cruiser. Thank you.
We're gonna make it. I cut together the video, though I haven't cut it together yet. I cut the video so it looks like it happened easily. No, but seriously, with the right shop and the right tools, Parnell is just like bang, bang, bang. We put this together in no time.
Flat all the way across. Electrics here. Storage here for chairs.
Yep.
Bam, bam, chairs. Pull-out kitchen. Stove. Water. Who knows what we need. Please let this mean our setup time is just...
It'll be so fast.
Simple.
We're going for under 5 minutes with everything.
Under 5 minutes.
I can do that now if it's just me.
You.
But, you know, under 5 minutes is our setup time. That's what we want.
Okay, great.
Cool, that's it. Next step, final design and fabrication. Thanks for hanging out, you guys.
Yeah, so, hey, if you find this video valuable, the information's relevant to you, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notif button, give this video a like, it helps us out a lot. And if you're interested in connecting with others in your area, diving into more detail, talking to people who have lots of experience with this type of stuff, please consider going over to the overlandbound.com forums. They're free, they're advertisement free, and if you really want to dive in deep and connect with a lot of awesome people, in fact like 23,000 around the world, consider becoming an Overland Bound member.
Yeah.
We are building stuff to help you in real life.
Outfit and explore.
Outfit.
That's what it's all
Connect,
about.
plan,
Adventure's
go.
necessary. All right, you guys.
Okay.
Thanks. We'll see you
Thank
out there
you.
on the trail.